Keep up with us online by liking the ZTV Sports Report Facebook page, follow us on Twitter at ZTV Sports, and subscribe to our YouTube page for our latest video.
Since basketball season is right around the corner, here's a look at one of the players we've highlighted last season, Rachel Teka.
For athletes, getting injured while playing is something they never want to think about. But when it happens, it can hit them like a ton of bricks.
It was definitely very sudden. I wasn't expecting it, and I just thought I had to get the surgery, come back, rehab, just do the work, put in the work, and I was excited for this season.
Last season, Rachel Teka went down with a torn ACL, and now she's working hard to come back.
I definitely tried rehabbing every day, get in the gym, put in extra time. My teammates definitely helped me out as well as Coach Kess. So they all pushed me and supported me throughout the whole process. So that was definitely a big help.
She was a first-team all-conference player. We had such a great start last year before she got injured, and she's one of the premier post players in the conference.
Since coming to Akron, Rachel attributes much of her success to Coach Kess.
Coach Kess has definitely taught me a lot since I've been here. She definitely believes in me and is interested in my best efforts and best interests, and she's a wonderful coach.
And both Teka and Coach Kest have noticed differences in the team's play since last season.
I think they worked really hard over the summer to improve on their weaknesses, and so another year under their belt of understanding each other's strengths and weaknesses.
I think this season we all are very motivated, and we all have a lot of heart and drive to win, and I think that's a lot different than the team we had last year.
And Teka knows where to give credit for the success of this season.
We have a great team this year, and everybody can contribute, and we just have a really special team, and I'm really excited about this year.
For the ZTV Sports Report, I'm Troy Taylor.
Welcome back to our final segment of the ZTV Sports Report, your home for Akron Zips Athletics. Let's get the ball rolling with this week's edition of Match Point.
Hello and welcome to Match Point. I am your host, Jeannie McBride, and alongside me today are ZTV Sports analysts Parker Smith and Hunter Lang. Now, with the Akron men's soccer team sitting at 8-3 and dropping to 40th in the NCAA rankings, what do the Zips need to do to be ready to make a run in the NCAA tournament?
Well, Akron, it might not be as bad as it seems. They're coming off, they were on a 4-game win streak, and then they're coming off a tough 2-0 home loss to Hartwick. Can't really be having that, but moving forward, I'm looking at the senior leaders. We're looking at Eric Stevenson and Ronaldo Brenes, 10 and 9 points respectively on the season. You really think that those guys really have to take a leadership role and maybe educate the younger players on the team, as the Zips are a young team right now. So if they can educate those players on, what it's like to be in a winning tradition.
Yeah, and I think more than anything, like you talked about, an inexperienced team, but they need to realize they're really not playing that bad of soccer. The game against Hartwick very recently at home, they lose that one 2-0. Hartwick only had 2 shots on net, 6 total in the game. Akron actually outshot them 27-6. So it was really more of a dominating performance by Akron where they didn't get the win. And you also saw that earlier in the year when they played VCU, also at home. We ended up losing that one as well, 1-0. Virginia Commonwealth took the victory there, and Akron outshot VCU 28-3 in that game. So again, I think when you see these losses, you kind of need to look a little deeper and realize that the Zips aren't really playing bad soccer. They're kind of getting a little unlucky. The ball's not bouncing their way, and you can kind of expect more of that.
All right, now moving on to Akron football. The Zips fell to Northern Illinois 27-20. What can the Zips take away from this close game?
Well, it's tough for Akron. They were coming off a big home loss to OU, 40-3. So, you got to give them credit for going on the road to an NIU team that's the class of the MAC. And, they put up a good fight, but at the same time, if you're an Akron fan, it's just got to be hard because, you go on the road against, teams like Michigan and NIU where you don't even expect to be in the game and you almost pull out a win, but you don't even get it. And then at home, when you're against worse teams, like OU, you don't even put up a fight. So
yeah, and it's almost if the teams had a little bit of problem with the expectation. When it comes time that it's starting to believe they can hang in there, that's when they've been fading away. And you want to see them just gain that consistency. And they have games coming up where they can kind of add to the win column on their schedule. They have Kent State, 2-5 on the year, coming to Akron. They also go to Miami of Ohio, who's 0-6 on the year. So within 2 of these next 3 games, you expect them to compete and you expect them to be able to put some wins on the schedule and something to hang their hat on going into the next season.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, they've already played Bowling Green. You know, we already said NIU, the top teams really of the MAC. OU as well. So, you know, that stuff is behind them, and now you can really look at, you know, the latter third of the season that they're approaching right now and try to build off of the close losses that they've had on the road against some big opponents.
All right, and that's all the time we have for on this week's edition of Match Point. As always, thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Now back to Sartaj in studio.
Besides Akron, the Mid-American Conference is filled with talented teams hungry for postseason play. This week, we highlight the Miami of Ohio Redhawks and see how they're faring in the MAC.
After 3 straight losses to MAC opponents this season, the Zips will travel to Miami, Ohio to face the Redhawks. Averaging just over a touchdown a game, the Redhawks rank towards the bottom in every offensive category nationally, while giving up nearly 4 times as many points as they score. Last season, Miami gave the Zips much more of a threat, beating them in an offensive onslaught 56-49. Quarterback Zach Dysert accounted for over 600 yards of total offense and 6 touchdowns. But now Dysert is the third-string quarterback for the Denver Broncos, and his replacement, Austin Boucher, has failed to throw for 1,000 yards through 6 games this season, and has more interceptions than touchdowns. This is good news for Akron. The Zips have hung tough with high-level competition all year, and by outmatching Miami in every statistical area, the Zips will look to get their second victory of the season and their first win against a MAC school since 2010. For the ZTV Sports Report, I'm Troy Taylor.
And that concludes this episode of the ZTV Sports Report. Thanks for watching, but do know we will be back next time when we preview Akron Zips basketball. We'll also see how the football team fares against Ball State, and we dive deeper into the Zips swimming and diving team. For everyone here at the ZTV Sports Report, I'm Sartaj Ojala. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
This program was produced by ZTV at the University of Akron. To find out how you can make Emmy-winning media, visit the UA School of Communication online. ZTV. Make media. Make a difference.